everybody. Welcome to What the Flick. Bibbs, Alonso, it's Preacher. Season 1, Episode 3, The Possibilities. What are you even doing
I don't know.
over there?
It amused me.
Oh,
I love
man.
the title, The Possibilities. It sounds like a rejected title for Eddie and the Cruisers. Eddie and the Possibilities.
Yeah, or it's like it has kind of a foreign art film kind of thing going.
Yeah.
The Possibilities.
Yes. Coming soon to a landmark theater near you.
Yes, where the language of cinema is universal. Anyway, I kind of dug this episode.
Yeah.
First of all, lots of Tulip, which is a big plus for me.
Good. It strikes me as the stuff that we see Tulip do, I'm not always sure how much of it is filler or not. Her getting pulled over by a cop, talking him out of it. That scene, unless that's important later and I missed it, that just reeks of the episode was running short. And we needed something we could shoot real fast on a highway.
I guess, but as filler goes, it was a pretty great moment.
It was.
And I like it when TV shows, and I prefer to think that it was scripted because I like it
It was scripted. Whenever it was an afterthought.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
I like it was always intended to be there because one of the things that I think movies get to do that TV so often doesn't is to sort of take a breather and have a moment that's just about establishing character.
You mean TV gets to do that movies often don't?
No, well, it used to be that movies did it and TV did. Now everything is crazy backwards.
But it's good to take a breather.
Yes, there was a time when series television would not stop and give you a character moment. It was just going to be plot.
Yeah.
Whereas in, let's say, indie films,
Yeah.
will have scenes that don't necessarily like move the plot forward, but provide you with some character moments.
Yeah, no, it works.
So,
It's
yeah.
good.
So,
It's
you
good.
know,
There's a good conversational tone to this, which I do feel is very apt for the comics. There's a lot of ideas, a lot of dialogue, a lot of characters exploring who they are and what they're about. And I think that's something this show does really well.
Yeah.
Generally, like the writing is very much spot on. The one thing you could argue is that maybe I think we might be a little impatient for really get going, but things move forward now. Cassidy is working with Agents of Heaven to try to get the thingy out of Jesse, which I don't think they named on the episode.
no.
so
And the thing in Jess is what's giving him the power right now? Is
Yes.
that the deal? Okay.
Yeah, there's a thing hiding out on his body.
Gotcha.
And they need to get it back by putting it in a can.
Right. And Jesse has no idea this is happening. He just assumes that he has this power.
He knows he has the power. He doesn't know why. And I like that there's that scene where he actually I like his relationship with Cassidy. I like that they are friends. You
Yeah.
get a sense that they're buddies, and that's something that obviously I think you see a lot of in the collected works of Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, who are working on this. They understand friendship very, very well in a modern milieu, and it feels right. It feels like their friendship is based on, especially for Jesse, getting to be immature. He doesn't let himself. He's trying to hold himself to a really high moral standard. When he's with Cassidy, the most he's doing is just getting drunk, hanging out, and saying dumb stuff, and ordering Cassidy around and doing weird stuff. This could have gone horribly, though, if Jesse had just said, "Go outside!" No! Also, we do learn that although Jesse has the ability to make people do stuff, he can't make them do anything they cannot do.
Right.
Like Cassidy can't, even though he's a vampire, he can't fly. So flying doesn't mean anything.
He can't sing Johnny Cash.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I thought that was interesting. Although I will say this about the show. I was watching it this week, and Dave's not been paying much attention to it at all. There's a scene when Jess and Tulip are having their big argument, and Dave just looks up and he goes, "Neither of these actors are American, are they?" He goes, it sounds like they got that kind of vague instruction about Southern without really sort of delineating where, and that maybe they just watched Raising Arizona a couple of times.
What's interesting is that both Dominic Cooper and Ruth Negga are in Warcraft.
Right, yes.
And even though they're playing like husband and wife, I don't know if they even have more than one scene together in that movie. There's no evidence of their chemistry, and they have great chemistry.
They do, absolutely. And the accent thing didn't even really bother me that much. But just
no, it's fine.
But I've been getting, I've had 3 episodes now to get used to it. But him as somebody just walking in cold, something was clinging.
It's been argued that American accents are actually easier to fake because it's such a broad country with so many different dialects, and people move around so much that if it's theoretically possible that someone sounds like that.
True,
just based on where they grew up.
Although there are some bad ones.
Oh no, there are. But
Ewan McGregor has been guilty of some.
Yes.
Imogen Poots in a few movies. That
I've always liked Tim Roth's American accent in Reservoir Dogs. I always thought he sounds American to me.
Right.
Like that's America right there, that voice from that British man.
You know, it's funny. I mean, like, did you see Genius, by the way?
No.
Yeah, no one did. Apparently, it tanked. It opened this weekend. It's the movie about Maxwell Perkins and Thomas Wolfe that stars Colin Firth and Jude Law.
Wow. You'd think that would have gotten a bit more buzz.
Yeah. Oh,
wow.
well, there's a reason it didn't. But it's just funny. Like, you have these giants of American literature played by those guys, and Dominic West as Ernest Hemingway, and Guy Pearce as F. Scott Fitzgerald. Like, are there no Americans who can play the American literature? No, apparently not.
I love when people complain about a British Superman as if he was born in America to begin with.
That's true. Yeah.
He's from Krypton. Who knows what they thought? I know more about what's going on because I've read the comics. I'm sure there will be changes. What are you curious about? Like, what did this episode resolve for you? What did it introduce?
Well, I always want to know more about, was it Quinnipiac Meat and Power?
I think it's Quincannon.
Quincannon, yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's how it's pronounced.
Meat and Power.
Yeah.
There's a combo there, and I don't know why, but I'm sure they're going to explain one. So yeah, that's interesting stuff.
It's amazing how evil Jackie Earle Haley can be without actually doing anything evil.
I like anyone who makes Donnie suffer. That's a plus.
That's true, but like, I don't know, there was this moment where like Donnie like goes off with his kid and he tries to explain, I know it seemed like I was hurting your mom. We have an S&M relationship. It's actually like not as bad as you think. And he explained it real bad.
Yeah, I'm sure there are articles in the kink community that are like, you know, if your kids hear or see something like how you explain this, the mommy and daddy are not actually hurting each other or whatever, you know. Donnie did not read those articles, I guess.
Yeah, I guess not. No. But that was an interesting scene, and I kind of like the way that the show is sort of rebranding his character a bit. It's like he seemed so cartoonishly, two-dimensionally evil, bad husband guy. And now we see he might not be. He's kind of a dick.
But he's awful in other ways.
He's awful in other ways. You can be awful in all kinds of ways without being evil.
Right.
On the other hand, maybe he's evil. I don't know. Like it's interesting to see how evil. We'll talk about this when we review Scream in a bit. The level of evil can fluctuate.
Yeah, that's true. I liked the men's room scene where he like brings him to the brink of killing himself and then realizes that he doesn't have to, and that sort of then leads him to decide that he doesn't have to get revenge on the other guy.
Yeah. We met a character who will be important very, very well. I don't know how soon he will be important.
The guy that Danny hands off the stuff to?
Yeah, the guy in the white suit at the Snuff Film Festival.
Right.
He's going to be a big deal. Keep an eye out for that white suit.
Yeah, that was quite an entrance. I suspect that we've not seen the last of this gentleman.
That's cool. He's one of the great characters.
Okay. What about, and I guess I'm curious to find out what the connection is between Arseface and Coma Girl.
Interesting. I didn't really pick up that there was
one.
He
talks about wanting to go over there and the father telling him not to. Like he gave the impression that the whole family does not like this kid for some reason or other.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't really pick up on that. I thought it was just Arseface being decent and the rest of the family kind of not wanting to engage with him.
I don't know. Maybe I misread the signs there. Of course, and
maybe,
the other question I had was, all right, so he says, open your eyes, and she opens her eyes. Is she blinking?
You know, I didn't know.
Because if not, somebody's got to like Clockwork Orange.
He's got to be real careful about how he phrases things.
These instructions.
Yeah, because I know he said open your eyes. He didn't say wake up and be conscious.
Yes, no.
Probably. I don't even know if that would have worked, honestly, but like...
It's one of those, like, when the genie asks you for something, you really have to be clear about what it is you want.
Oh, I know. I hate that. You know, you have to, like, come up with a big documentation.
Yeah. That was an SNL sketch once, I think, where they actually had, like, a lawyer coming up with this really long thing. So it was like, I don't want to live forever and then get put in jail the next day for life.
There was the X-Files episode like that where... Mulder had access to a genie, and he discovered that the only wish that isn't cursed is freeing the genie. That's the only wish that won't come back around and haunt someone.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I mean, again, the shows. You're right. They're not in a huge hurry to lay out the groundwork, but
yeah, they really want you to sit in where we are.
Yeah, they're doing it, I think, in an interesting enough way that it's, you know, I'm curious to see how this unfolds and what little hints are going to sort of sprout later into bigger things and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm digging it. I really just the more and more we see of the characters, the more they are growing on me, the more they are becoming acceptable versions of these characters that a lot of us are very familiar with.
Did you notice who directed this episode?
I did not.
Howard Deutsch of Pretty in Pink fame.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, good for him.
He's Clearly
Well done.
It's got a lot of colors in the paint box, obviously.
Not just pink.
Not just pink.
A lot of yellow.
Blacks
Yellow
and
reds
browns and
yeah. Well done.
So yeah, I mean,
Preacher. It's interesting because Preacher. It's a good show, but it's actually not hitting us with these like huge Game of Thrones moments where we have to talk about the ramifications of it yet. It's still laying the groundwork, and so it's easy to talk about it in generalities, even more so than it is to talk about the specifics right now.
I suspect that this is the new approach of television in that only a percentage of the people who watch the show are going to watch it in a weekly serialized format.
Probably true.
This is the formula for binging, where you don't have to like unpack your adjectives.
You can take your time.
Exactly, because if you're watching, if the day comes where somebody is going to sit and watch the first 5 or 6 episodes of the show in one sitting, it will not seem like as slow a rollout because they're all going to just get it together.
And it makes sense because the weekly format, I fully support the weekly format. It can be a very entertaining format. It keeps the conversation going, makes you excited to see what will happen next. But after that first airing, this is how you're going to see it forever.
Exactly.
It's on home video, probably having access to a whole bunch of episodes. So planning for that works. It just can't, if you're going to continue actually having the serialized format, it does help to really grab us in that old school Breaking Bad Lost way and go, oh shit, what's going to happen next?
Yeah,
it really helps.
They're kind of serving two masters here as far as that sort of thing.
And Preacher's got a little bit of leeway because it's based on a property everyone likes or has heard of or whatever. Yeah. It's obviously it comes from impressive producers and everything, so they probably feel pretty comfortable that people are going to stick around for a while.
Right.
But I am looking forward to when it peaks, because when Preacher the comic peaks, holy shit. So this is going to be real interesting to watch.
All right.
So Preacher, the only one who could ever reach me was the son of this show, man.